We've been waiting for Q4 2025 for quite some time, but what you need to know in this cycle and in this quarter is while the markets could be euphoric and while there's a lot of things you can get caught up in with greed and FOMO, I'm going to go over my crypto laws of profit for Q4, how you can get involved, manage your risk, limit your downside, eliminate greed and FOMO, and make sure that you come out of this cycle profitable. I think this is going to be a very valuable video. We're going to go over tokens that I like. We're going to go over different narratives, how to completely maximize Q4 2025. So without further ado, let's jump into it. We'll make this video short, sweet, and to the point, but like I said, I think it's going to be very important to implement these pillars once we get into the video. But first and foremost, as always, if you're enjoying the content here on the channel, drop down below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more here on In the Game. We have you covered from niche to niche, all the different alpha and airdrop information that you need to win throughout this bull cycle, because there's going to be lots of opportunity. Make sure you stay up to date, like and subscribe down below. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have Nexus Labs, our premier software that we use here every single day on the channel. We have Blowfin, we have 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗄, as well as 𝗓𝗑𝗄. And I want to give a shout out to 𝗓𝗑𝗄. First of all, in a narrative right now where BNB and Binance Smart Chain have really emerged as a leader. We see BNB at all-time highs. We see new products like Aster coming out. And right now, 𝗓𝗑𝗄 has positioned themselves as a leader in the AI space on the Binance Smart Chain. First of all, they have the full support of the BNB chain, but on top of that, they're turning 3 billion gamers into potential builders, building out their own game worlds with 3D assets, imagery, videos, and of course their own mini games you can see here on the page. These are all different games that have been created by users on this platform. And look, like I said, right now it is a Binance Smart Chain cycle. We're seeing meme runners, and there's no better way to be positioned than with the #1 AI play underneath the Binance Smart Chain. So be sure to drop down below. Check out 𝗓𝗑𝗄 in the description, as their airdrop is coming up as well. So be sure to check out 𝗓𝗑𝗄 down below. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, as this market is looking pretty solid if you ask me. I mean, I'm wearing a green shirt. The lighting behind me is green, and the markets, every single coin here is green. And for the most part on the daily, everything is doing well on the daily. Like, this is a beautiful thing to see, the amount of green on the charts. And October is definitely in full effect. Over the 7 days, we see Bitcoin up 9%, which makes sense. Look, the institutional adoption is not stopping, and it is a Bitcoin gold rush at this point. People want as much Bitcoin as humanly possible. BlackRock just bought another $400 million worth of Bitcoin. I'm sure Michael Saylor is going to be putting in a buy, probably coming up to end this week or at the beginning of next week. And I do really agree with Crypto God John here on the fact that I think everyone is really underexposed to the market right now. I think the swings and fluctuations of fear and greed in this market have really led people, like we said on yesterday's show, to have that PTSD where they really don't know what to expect. And I feel like this could be one of the most explosive parts of the last few years. And of course, that's what should be happening on the end of the 4-year cycle. However, I do really think that we're about to have a great time here in crypto over the next couple of months. Let's just go look at the dailies here. We see stuff like Moontropica, Mog, Gunzilla up 15% today. We see Aster up 12%. We see Athena up 10%. A lot of good products on the move here on the daily. And then we go look at the weekly charts here. We see Xborg, one of our favorite low caps, up 70% on the weekly, which is just absolutely insane. We see Superverse with 2 of the biggest Asia exchange listings this week, up 35%. We see GPU up 36%. So a lot of good stuff happening in the market. But what we don't want to do is get drunk on profits, get high on the market over the course of this time. So while this is going to be a fantastic time period for us to take advantage of, do not get, I'll use some, new age terms. Don't get lost in the sauce, okay? You don't want to get too cloudy in this market. We're going to have a ton of euphoria. There's going to be a lot of free money going around with big airdrops. There's going to be new coins that come out and run. Probably meme coins are going to come back into the fold as well. So what are some things that you can do to maximize Q4. And when I mean maximize, I'm talking about top to bottom, your investment portfolio, how you maximize your time, how you maximize the airdrops that are potentially happening throughout this cycle. So I made another handy dandy, sketchboard here for us to go over. So let's jump into it. I call this the Q4 laws of profit, because if we actually look back at the last couple of years, at the end of 2024, the market was fantastic. At the end of 2023, the market was phenomenal as well, right? So the last 2 years, and then also 2021, of course, the end of the year really proved crazy profitable for anyone who was exposed to the market at that point in time. So we want to make sure that we keep a level head and we actually implement a strategy. The one thing you don't want to do is chase coin to coin, keep buying green candles. You want to be positioned before the green candles, right? And I feel like that's what we've done here on the channel. So I want to just go over these and go into detail as to why I think that these 6 terms, these 6 principles that I've laid out on the screen will guide you and almost guarantee you to come out ahead if you live by these this quarter. So first and foremost is allocate appropriately to strength. And I'm going to put a big star here because I think this is incredibly important. And I'm going to switch this to the paintbrush or the streamer. It's much more thick for emphasis. So we have the bold star there. Allocate appropriately to strength. First and foremost, you need to take at least 50%, maybe 60, 70% of your portfolio and allocate it into top protocols. Number one, it's what's going to catch money first, okay? So while some of these low market cap coins are doing crazy numbers so far, the things that are going to run first and catch the bulk of the liquidity are going to be these majors. As we see here, everything here in the top like 20, 15 is up double digits other than Tron, right? So you want to make sure you're allocated into those top chain layers. For me, that would be stuff like Hype, Sui, AVAX, Aster, Solana, KEDA, stuff like even Aave, BitTensor Tau, Kaspa. These are the types of coins, the high-end blockchain layers that people are going to be on-ramping through, utilizing every single day. And right now, the one I think is just the most undervalued here would be Sui. I think that Sui is overdue for a run. So if you're looking at one right now, like if you had to go add one to your portfolio or make a DCA, I think Sui at 350 is dirt cheap, and those all-time highs at $5 can be broken through pretty easily. But I do think you need perp dex exposure, whether it's Hype or Aster. And also if you want to farm the Aster airdrop, we'll talk about airdrops here in just a few minutes. But number one, allocate majority into strength. And I will, double, triple down on that. And that's why here on the shows, almost every single video, we talk about those major plays. You want to make sure you're allocated into those because that's where the Bitcoin all-time high money is going to flow into. That's where Ethereum all-time high money is going to flow into. The cycle always rhymes, okay? It's not going to repeat itself, but it's going to go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to major alts and then down into low cap alts. So you want to be positioned accordingly. So allocate appropriately to strength, but at the same time, make sure you have some degen exposure. The stuff like WAGMI Games or Moontropica. Xborg is my favorite low market cap token in the market. Neural AI, Talbot. These are gaming, AI, different types of protocols like that. Black Hole, a DeFi protocol that's like a ridiculously low market cap. So you want to allocate appropriately into strength, but also take smaller bets on low market caps, because if those do a 10, 20x, those could be some of your biggest wins of the cycle by even just putting a small amount into them. So first and foremost, allocate into strength. I would say probably 70% of your portfolio should go there. And then I would say 30% probably into, more degen, speculative assets, meme coins, small market caps, etc. But otherwise, that's your deployed capital. Number two, always leave stables on the side for active trades and large runners. And look, I completely understand. It is hard to look at your wallet. Maybe you hold 5 positions. I'm just going to name, maybe you hold Aave, Near Protocol, Arbitrum, Kaspa, and Jupiter. I'm just naming 5 random coins. And you also have 20% of stables on the sidelines. And you're looking at all these charts and you're like, man, everything's green. I really want to put the rest of those stables into the market right now. Why wouldn't I? I want to maximize the upside. I understand that. The psychology of leaving sidelined money is sometimes hard, especially when the market's running like this. You feel like you want to put a trade in. You feel like you want to allocate it into a coin that's running, whatever the case. But I can tell you this. The only reason people are able to catch trades like Trump, like Plasma, like Aster, all these new coins that come up and run in the meme coin season when Chill Guy, Flog, all these, Goat, whatever the case is, all these different coins, when they run, it's because people have money ready to deploy. They're not out here deciding, oh, I want to get in this coin, but I have to cut a position. I can't hold everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my Avalanche and I'm going to move it into the new play like Aster. When in reality, you want to hold your AVAX, right? There's an AVAX Treasury Co. now, a $675 million SPAC in a deal with Mountain Lake Acquisition Corp. That is not the mentality to ape into a brand new coin, right? So if you want to take a short-term trade and actually have the freedom to do so without trimming the first law here, the strength part of your portfolio, leave stables aside for active trades and new runners. I'm talking about Aster, XPL, meme coin season, Trump, whatever the case is. The beautiful thing of having stables is you just deploy that right into these big trades and you can multiply that pretty easily, and you don't have to just go all into the market and then have to be like, should I sell my Hype, Sui, Aster, Sol, AVAX to be able to get into this new trade? And then you're out here trimming them a little bit each to go into this new coin. That's never the position you want to be in. So always keep stables. It gives you the ultimate freedom to take new trades. So that is law number 2. Number 3, and probably the most important on this entire list, okay? Number 3 is do not marry your bags, okay? Projects, they're not women. They're not, they're not, if you're a woman out there, they're not your knight in shining armor, okay? I can guarantee you this. And what I wrote on the side here could not be more true. We're all here to leave the cycle with more money than we came in, okay? And this is not going to be done by being biased to a certain project. Think of it this way, right? You can think of the don't marry your bags on 3 different spectrums, 2 different spectrums, really. Number 1, that's like saying you didn't want to buy Aster at 40 cents because you just love Hyperliquid. Oh, Hyperliquid's so good. Why would I buy something else? But at the end of the day, competition is good, and that's good for an open market. So Aster was a no-brainer. You should want exposure to both. So that goes not only on the project perspective. You shouldn't not buy Sui because you love AVAX. You shouldn't not buy let's just say Tau because you love Render. I'm just naming coins in the same niches. You shouldn't fade Superverse because you like Ronin, right? So if you're in these different coins, that should never be your mentality. So do not marry your bags, okay? This is an open market. There's competition everywhere, and you'll miss trades like Aster if you're a Hyperliquid maxi and you just are like, I'm not investing in that. That's a bad mentality. But also, more importantly, on the profit-taking perspective, not being biased to a project, these projects don't care about anyone but themselves, okay? And that's the realest thing anyone can tell you on the internet, all right? No matter what the case is, these crypto coins that you're investing into, you are just another number to them. So who cares? You should not have any bias. I love this community. Why would I sell? I don't want to dump. I'm so loyal to XRP. Do you think XRP cares? They have the biggest cult community ever. You can be the one person who's not a cult member and sell. I can guarantee you, because the project does not care about you nor your money. So you should care about yourself and your money. Take profits when your bags multiply and eliminate greed and FOMO. That's one of the biggest advice, and that's pretty real. Look, a lot of crypto people will say, this community is amazing. Look, the only thing you should be worried about is the dollars you're putting into these projects. Because like I said, you can name any project on this list. Vitalik don't care about your bags. CZ might, be pumping a few things in the market right now, but he don't care about your well-being. Okay, you're the only person who can look out for your well-being. So please, 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 please do not marry your bags. Do not fall in love with a project. Do not think that a project cares about you, because they freaking don't. Okay, that is just the truth, and they definitely don't care about your money. All right, they're looking at their team tokens, their investor tokens, their advisor tokens, and they're like, man, I can't wait till the top. I'm going to sell a little bit of this and I'm going to go live my life. Okay, that's just the way crypto is. There are great projects out there. The ones I named, they're not malicious in any way, but it just goes for any project. Okay, you're not there to be a community member for the next 4 years, so take profit, please. Do not marry your bags. Number 4 is do not leave free money on the ground. And what I mean here is not from a trading perspective. I'm talking about airdrops. So during the 4-year cycle, the biggest airdrops come out at the top. This is just, it happens over and over again. When the market is topped, the biggest airdrops come out because that's when protocols deem very valuable to launch a token at a high valuation. So the biggest and best airdrops are free money opportunities. They occur in the peak of the market. Upcoming, just in the next 2 months, literally before December, we're going to see Meteora, which, by the way, is happening on October 23rd. So if you guys rode out the meme cycle with me, we executed on Meteora. I have over 100 million points on Meteora. I think this airdrop should be very valuable. We have other stuff coming up like Solstice, which could potentially be like an Athena play on the Solana network. This is definitely one to keep your eyes on. But on top of that, we have Abstract, Monad, OpenSea, MetaMask, EdgeX, Aster, Hype Season 2, Meme Lab, we have Lighter. There's so many more. These are just free money opportunities for using platforms. So if you also have time in the market, go play around with these. I can guarantee you, do some of the voyages on OpenSea, transact on MetaMask, do some trades on EdgeX, Hype, Aster, Lighter, whatever the case is. If you want to join the best Aster team, they're giving away $800 million in a week. Okay, if you want a piece of that, we do have a link down below in the description to join the best trading team, our team on Aster. But look, never fade these. The worst part of the cycle is going to be when everyone starts getting this free money. And if you're sidelined on more than half of these opportunities, you're going to be looking around like, everyone was telling me to pick up the free money on the ground, but I didn't do it, right? And even me, I didn't get involved in the plasma presale. Even people who put $1, singular dollar. I don't have a dollar on my desk right now, but one singular dollar into the pre-sale. They got $9 grand. Unreal. This is that time of the market. So make sure you maximize these free money opportunities. Please, I really just implore you, go play around with these different protocols and see which leaderboards you can climb, see which points you can get, because this is the best. Free money's the best money. Doesn't matter what's in. But in crypto, it does feel even better because they're just literally incentivizing you for being early. Number 5, and the most important for just anyone in the market, in my opinion, while I say do not marry your bags was probably the number one, if I have to just be blunt and realistic and kind of almost on the edge of, saying that projects don't care about you're just a number, you're just another holder, right? At the end of the day. So if you see a life-changing amount of money on the screen for your situation, you take it and you leave the casino, okay? And this is for you. So we see recently traders on the timeline. If we go look at the Aster chart, for example, we saw people posting $100,000, $50,000, $1 million P&Ls, profit and loss on one trade because they got in at 10 cents, 20 cents here on Aster, wrote it out, they had size, and they made 8 figures, 7 figures, okay? But that's not your situation. So while you could look around and say, man, this guy crushed this trade, I feel so bad about it. I only have 5,000 in crypto, but I'm up 15,000 over the cycle. My bags have done really well. That's a lot for me, but I need to be like the other people in the market. That is the wrong mentality. Comparison is the worst thing you can do in crypto because someone else's portfolio and life situation is not yours, okay? My situation, my next door neighbor's situation, the guy across the street, the guy in a neighborhood over, the people watching this, Rand's situation, everyone's different. You can't pin that one-to-one. So in this game, you have to have blinders on. While yes, big P&Ls are awesome to see, you need to make sure you're looking out for yourself. So it does not matter. I don't care what if your rent is $1,000 a month? And what if you make 10 grand? So you can pay your rent for 10 months off of that win. That's quite a big accomplishment, okay? If it's 10K, If it's 50K for you, doesn't matter. If it's 100 grand you see on the screen, if it is a tangible amount that you see and you say, man, that could do a lot for me. That can pay for my kids' college. That can buy me a new car. That can get my wife what she wants, or, put that down payment on a house. There's so many different scenarios. If you see that amount on the screen, don't go screenshot it and post it and leave it in. The two laws are, if you screenshot a win, you take profit. And on top of that, if you see an amount of money on your screen that would change your situation, take it. It doesn't matter what the next person's doing. That is all your situation. And then last but not least, farm DeFi protocols. So in the peak of the 2021 market, a lot of these projects went under, but at the same time, during that time period, they were working and they were printing money. I'm talking about Wonderland Time. I'm talking about Tomb over on Phantom. There were some crazy DeFi plays last cycle. And right now we have some pretty good ones. First of all, Meteora, I still think is a great platform to get involved with DeFi. But we have Project X over on Hyperliquid. You can literally farm the Hyperliquid airdrop and also get a future Project X airdrop. Some of their yields are hundreds of percent. Some of them are in the 1,000% whenever they first come out, which is crazy. Stuff like Black Hole, $2.1 million in rewards for people who locked and burned their tokens, and just 1.6 billion in trading volume. There's $200 million on the platform, and they're giving out 2.1 million in voting rewards, not to mention high APR pools. And these protocols get hot because token values go up, and on top of that, the yields they come out with new pairs, new yields. It's very advantageous to have some money in DeFi in the middle of a bull market, because that's usually when things get the most hectic. Price actions printing, your pools are printing, plus price appreciation. So definitely don't fade DeFi. It is a way to have your money working for you 24/7, but on top of that, stuff like Project X, you can get a future airdrop from Hyperliquid and Project X. So definitely the peak of the bull is a great time to get involved with DeFi protocols. But like I said here in this little portion, I said DeFi gets frothy, take advantage of it, but make sure you exit before the impermanent loss gets heavy at the end of the cycle and these things kind of start coming back down to earth. So I know a few of these were rants, but I feel like it's hardcore what people need to know, okay? Allocate to strength appropriately. Be most of your portfolio in strength. Leave stables aside for active trades and large runners. Do not marry your bags. That's numero uno on this freaking video. Number 4 is don't leave free money on the ground. Make sure you're farming these airdrops. They are big opportunities for 4 or 5. Some people will make 6 figures off some of these airdrops. So definitely do not fade that. If you see a life-changing amount of money on your screen, take it. If it's going to change your situation, please take the money out of the casino and run. And last but not least, take advantage of DeFi, because DeFi gets very frothy in the peak of a bull run, and the yields and different appreciation on assets you can get from these protocols is massive. So that's my 6 laws of a crypto peak, a crypto bull market, and specifically my 6 laws for this Q4. And just looking across the market, guys, it's not even alt season yet. So if you feel like you've missed things, Solana's not even at all-time highs. Dogecoin's not even close to all-time highs. Dogecoin is a perfect retail indicator. We're nowhere near all-time high there. Hyperliquid not at all-time high. Chainlink not at all-time high. Sui not. Avalanche not. Toncoin is not. So look, there's so many different ways to still get involved with this market, undervalued tokens. And like I said, I think my number 1 buy today would be Sui. I think Sui is going to go on an astronomical run over the course of the next month. So I definitely am positioning heavy there, but I don't really think you can go wrong as far as the top of the market at this point in time. But guys, let me know down below, was this video valuable? Were these some of the things you need to hear, implement? What were some of the most valuable, or do you agree and disagree with any of the things I said? I would love to hear more in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow to finish up the week. I think it's going to be a fun month for us here in the crypto world. You had the conviction, you were early, and if we truly do have the peak of the bull run this quarter, it's going to be a hell of a time for all of us here in the market. So like the video down below, subscribe to the channel for more. I'll see y'all on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.